On May 8th, 2025, Nintendo launched pre orders for the Switch 2, but there was no countdown, no restocks, and, for many, no access at all. Instead, Nintendo used an invitation only system designed to reward loyalty and block bots. It was bold, it was different, and it left a lot of fans confused. For some, it worked. For others, it felt like being locked out of a club they'd already paid to join. What started as a scalper proof system quickly became a source of anxiety and frustration. Today, we're breaking down the Switch 2 pre order rollout, what Nintendo tried to fix, where it went wrong, and what it reveals about the future of buying consoles. Let's go back 2 weeks earlier, on April 24th. That's when major US retailers like Best Buy, Target, Walmart, and GameStop opened their own Switch 2 pre orders. It was business as usual. Listings went live, stock vanished almost instantly, and within minutes, the consoles started popping up on resale sites, marked up sometimes by hundreds of dollars. The problem isn't new. Bots have been exploiting online checkouts for years, and every major console launch since 2020 has seen scalpers dominate the supply chain. Consumers lose, scalpers win, and trust in the process erodes each time. Nintendo saw what happened and made a different choice for its own store. Instead of adding to the chaos, they introduced structure, or at least they tried to. On April 2nd, during a Nintendo Direct, the company quietly announced a new pre order strategy. To buy a Switch 2 directly from the My Nintendo store, players would first need to register interest on Nintendo.com. There were two product options, the standard Switch 2 and a bundle featuring Mario Kart World. But this wasn't a first come, first served deal. It wasn't even a lottery. Nintendo applied filters. To qualify for the first wave of invites, your Nintendo account had to meet three criteria by April 2nd. A minimum of 12 months of Nintendo Switch online, at least 50 hours of gameplay logged, consent to share gameplay data with Nintendo. If you met all three, your account became eligible for selection. No guarantees, no position in line, just eligibility. Then, on May the 8th, emails started going out. The subject line was simple: good news. Inside, a personal checkout link, valid for 72 hours. No rush, no system crashes, no scalpers. Just a calm, secure window to buy the console. In concept, it was everything fans had been asking for. A system that favored loyal players, not bots, not speed, and not scalpers. For those who received an invite, the experience felt different, in a good way. On Reddit and Twitter, fans shared screenshots of their emails, celebrating the fact that for once, their time and loyalty actually mattered. Many had been subscribed to Nintendo Switch Online for years. They'd logged hundreds of hours across Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon, and Animal Crossing. These weren't casual customers, they were invested players. For them, the process felt fair, a thank you, not a giveaway. There was no need to fight for inventory, no checkout scripts to beat, just a link, a cart, and a deadline. One fan described it as the cleanest pre order I've ever experienced. Another said, "It's the first time I felt like Nintendo sees me as more than just a number." For those invited, the system worked exactly as intended. But that's only half the story. On the other side were fans who followed every rule and still heard nothing. They had active subscriptions, logged the required hours, opted in to share their data. Some even registered for the pre order minutes after the direct announcement, and yet silence. No email, no invite, no explanation. The problem wasn't being denied a pre order, it was not knowing why. Was their data processed correctly? Were they disqualified by mistake? Were invites going out randomly, regionally, in batches? Nintendo claimed the system was first come, first served among those who qualified, but real world results didn't match that claim. Some fans who signed up late reported receiving invites early. Others who registered immediately were still waiting days later. That inconsistency led to speculation and frustration. With no dashboard and no queue position, fans began building their own theories. Reddit threads and Discord channels filled up with timelines, screenshots, and spreadsheets. People tracked when they registered, when invites went out, and tried to reverse engineer Nintendo's logic. Was it based on account age, play history, purchase history, region? There were no answers. And then came the scams. Fake invite emails began circulating, nearly identical in design but containing malicious links. Some fans clicked before realizing the deception. The invite system, meant to reduce chaos, had inadvertently created a different kind of disorder, built not on competition but on uncertainty. To make matters worse, fans outside North America started noticing a very different approach. In parts of Europe, Nintendo opened up direct pre-orders, no invite required, just a traditional product listing and a buy now button. Why the difference? Nintendo hasn't said, but for North American fans who were still checking their inboxes daily, the contrast felt frustrating, if not unfair. The invite system, once seen as a thoughtful solution, now looked like a region-locked experiment in loyalty management. And for many fans, the question shifted from, will I get an invite, to, why does this have to be so unclear? Nintendo's system wasn't broken, but it was incomplete. A simple status dashboard showing your registration date, eligibility status, and wave assignment could have solved much of the confusion. Fans weren't asking for guarantees, they were asking to know where they stood. Even something as basic as "you're in Wave 2, emails begin May 14th" would have built trust. Instead, the silence became a source of stress. Nintendo made a serious attempt to fix a flawed process. They slowed it down, they prioritized loyalty, they built in protections against scalping, but they underestimated one thing: how much clarity matters. The Switch 2 My Nintendo Store pre-order system wasn't just a logistical change, it was a shift in values. It challenged the traditional launch day chaos. It gave loyal players a seat at the table, and it tried to wrest control back from bots and resellers. But in trying to fix one problem, Nintendo created another. A system that felt opaque and inconsistent to many of the very fans it aimed to reward. The lesson here isn't that the system failed. It's that transparency is just as important as access. As gaming companies look to future launches, they'd be wise to remember, consumers can handle delays. They can handle limited stock. What they struggle with is silence. So, what do you think of Nintendo's approach? Was this a step in the right direction or a misstep in execution? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you're still waiting on that invite, good luck. You're not alone. Like and subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this. Until next time, stay informed and stay skeptical.